the gold standard of radio. This na Goldie FM 97.5.
Oh man, I'm active. Oh man, I'm active. Oh man, I'm active. Oh man, I'm active.
Half hour on our station 97.5. Remember that you can log on your Facebook and watch it live, and of course you can get to call and ask questions on 0707 747 1522 and 091 2000 1975. I've got Ari Pobini with me this beautiful morning, and of course he will be talking about who this one, who that one. But he will be explaining all that to you. Good morning, Nai. How you doing today?
Good morning, Flyboy. I'm fine.
Okay, so let's go straight into it. Tell us what we are listening to today.
This morning we want to look at, last week we looked at a session of the employer-employee situationship. This morning we want to look at another part of it, who is responsible for what. A lot of the times the responsibilities shared between the employer and the employee are often misconstrued, misunderstood, misinterpreted. Some people become entitled, some people are misinformed and do not know what their responsibility is. And when some businesses fail, they blame it all on their staff. But the question is, what exactly is the responsibility of the employee? And what is the responsibility of the employer? That's what we want to look at this morning. I will just go straight and put it this way. It is important that a business owner, in this case an employee, sets the right structure, the right system or processes before employing people into your business. Your structure may not be absolute. This means that it is a work in progress. It's a continuous journey. You will keep improving on it, but you need to have some semblance of structure in your business, how things will be done, who will do what, when, where, how, why. All of these things, as a business owner, you would have answered for yourself first before you bring people in. The people you're bringing in, you're bringing them in to support the vision of the business that you have laid down. They are not coming to set vision for your business. They are not coming to be the ones to cast the vision for you and then run it. Many small businesses, as soon as they employ someone into their business, the owner of the business suddenly goes on a sabbatical. Not like they are busy anywhere else. They just stop taking their business personal. They educate that responsibility to the employee. The employee becomes the one running the business. They come, they query the employee. Why are we not making sales? What's happening? Why are you just going to be sitting down? In the employee's job description, what is written there? Which brings us back to the issue of informal employment or informal hiring. You hire people verbally. They do not even know what their job description is. They don't know what their roles are. They just assume that this is what you want them to do. So as the business owner, as the employee, you must define these things before you bring people on board to work for you. The people you're bringing on board, employees in this case, they are coming to help you grow your business. Emphasis on help. They are not primarily responsible for growing your business. That is your job as the owner of the business. Their job is to support the vision. Yes, on the surface, it looks like the employee is working for the employer. But the fact is that the employee is working for himself. The employee took your job because he has responsibilities he wants to manage financially. Your job provides him the funds to meet his own responsibilities. So the employee is working for you for himself first. So you as a business owner, all you can do is get the best out of the employee to grow your business while you're paying the employee for the best that they are giving you. If they are giving you good or better and you require the best, it is also in part your responsibility to train them, empower them, build their capacity for the time that they are with you to give you the best that you need. I often tell people there is no such thing as an already made staff. Yes, we post that we need people who have experience on the job, who have experience in the role. That is not to say that they are already made. It just means that we can jumpstart. They are not novice to the position. It means that it saves the employer an initial unnecessary expense. But as they begin to go through the business, you understand that every business has its own culture. And so the owner of the business would have a particular way he or she wants things to be done. It will now be the responsibility of the employer to train the employee on how he or she wants what he or she wants. The employee that is coming to work for the employer is bringing value by way of skills, talents, experience, ideas, innovation, creativity. In exchange for these things that the employee is bringing, the employer pays the employee monthly, weekly, as the case may be. The employee is there for his own personal development, for his own growth, for his own, let's use the word selfish, for his own selfish reasons. That's why he's there. It is the employer's job to take advantage of all the strengths the employee has for an agreed amount, in this case salary, commission or bonus. If you abandon your business because you have an employee, you are not a serious business owner. When we say structure your business, when we say your business can function with or without you, we are not saying abandon your business, stop going there, allow employees to run your business. That is not what we mean. What we mean when we say structure your business is that the entire operation of the business should not depend on you. Because if it depends on you and anything happens to you, the business will come to a standstill. Yesterday, I made a reminder post on Facebook about an experience I had 3 years ago. I needed to make some soups. One of those times when I was alone and I just, couldn't help myself. And I called some vendors that were quite visible on my timeline from time to time. And one of them told me that she was out of town and would not be back until the following week. That is a business, a catering business. The customer phone, line that is supposed to engage customers is probably the same phone the owner of the business uses. And so when the owner of the business travels, the business travels. When the owner of the business is not available, the business is not available. If the owner of the business probably is married or is in a relationship and the partner decides, let's take a vacation, the business takes a vacation because the owner of the business took a vacation. When we say structure, we are saying that whether you go on this vacation or not, the business should continue. That's on the side of structure. Now, responsibilities of the employee. It is the employee's job to come to the job equipped, to come to the job developed, to come to the job armed with the required skills, talents, or experience. There is also on-the-job training. As an employee, your employer does not owe you self-development. If your employer develops you, it is a privilege, and the employer is doing it for his own selfish reasons. He's doing it because it would grow his own business. He's not doing it because he loves you. The employer does not owe the employee self-development. The employee owes himself self-development because he wants to build a career. So it is the employee's job to look out for opportunities that will help him or her improve. The more you improve, the more you become indispensable to your employer. There is something I see that happen a lot in our small business environment. You see someone work for a business for 3, 4, 5 years. Eventually, the business now needs a manager, and then the owner of the business employs a manager from outside to come and head the person who has been working for 3, 4, 5 years, who by this time understands the business very well. And this is my thoughts. If this person has worked for you for 3, 4, 5 years and understands the business, why not train this person internally and upscale this person to become a supervisor and eventually a manager than bringing somebody from outside? But of course, business owners have their reasons why they do that. In some cases, it is also because the employees do not show ownership of the business. They do not show ownership. They don't see themselves growing in that business line. And so the owner of the business goes to look for someone who is passionate about his business the way he is, and brings that person to head this other person. And then you begin to feel the internal rancor. I've been here. They just brought this person now. He or she is earning more than me. The question is, what did you also do as a person? As an employee, have you been developing yourself? Have you been positioning yourself for that promotion when it eventually comes? You're working in an organization. You are seeing loopholes in the organizational structure. It's your job to begin to position yourself for such a time when there will be need to close those loopholes. Once upon a time in my life, when I was in active service, let me use that word, I used to be a little bit of a lot of things. I was the tech person, I was the internal trainer, I was the internal security officer, I was the head of admin. These were not my primary responsibilities when I joined the company. But they were skills, talent, experiences that I built in the job as I saw the need. And then when the company wants to make a decision, probably we are opening a new branch, the company would ask itself, if we send an accountant, we send a cashier, we send a tech person, we send a capacity building person, this will increase our risk. The expenses will be too much. But if we send just Harry to this place, we can put the whole cost together and divide it by 2 and give to Harry. It will still be a lot for Harry to go do what he wants to do and still have something to enjoy himself with. In the company's wisdom, that was good spending. All of these things I was doing at the time under the employment of an organization are what I now do now in my own business. That I can afford to provide HR service, business development, risk analysis, financial analysis, and this and that. These are skills that I picked along the way because I opened myself to learning. I positioned myself for organizational growth. It is only in the public service that it is somewhat stamped. A promotion is by duration or by tenure. I don't know the right word that is used there. It's not about how much productivity you bring. It's not about your capacity. It's not about your effectiveness. If promotion is every 3 years, 3 years comes, you're promoted. Then it's only in the public sector that happens. In the private sector, you must deserve promotion, either by the value you bring, productivity, company growth. There has to be tangible benefits that brings about promotion. And all of this on the side of the employer should be captured in the contracts that you're giving to the employee. One of the problems we have in a lot of our small businesses is because there are no contracts. Between the employer and the employee is almost always verbal. Resume tomorrow. Sir, when will I be closing? You'll be closing by 5 or 6. It depends. Any day we have pressure, you might work more than that. All of these are verbal. Most of them are not written down. And when these people leave, they leave the same way they came, verbally. They just send you a WhatsApp message or a text message and say they no longer continue. They are gone. And then now you're upset. You're looking for a way to victimize them. You want to look for money that was not missing and say money is missing. But the right processes were not there. For example, anybody that will touch money in your business should give you a guarantor at the point of employment, or a referee at the point of employment, because they will constantly come in contact with cash or deal with financial transactions. But you see, these people are employed verbally. These things are not done. In some cases, the employer does not even know where the employee lives. until the employee wakes up one day, stops coming to work. Then the employer begins to think, why would he or she stop? Maybe he or she have stolen my money. And then allegations upon allegations begin to fly all over the place. Dear employer, it is your job to structure your business, write the vision, create the goals, create the strategies, create the systems and processes, outline what each person will do in your business, create proper reporting lines. Dear employee, it is your job to come to the employer with value. That value is what you're exchanging for the salary that you're being paid. It is important that you have a contract. If there is no contract, insist on it, so you understand where your job starts and where your job stops. Some employers are taking advantage of employees who they employed as secretary. They have turned to cleaner, PA, receptionist, social media manager, all of that on top a very, very small salary. It is important that these things are outlined. And so when you apply for a job and the employer is employing you verbally, insist on a written contract. It is for your benefit. It also helps you to understand what value you're bringing to the business. It is your responsibility, dear employee, to train yourself, to improve yourself. Anything you need to know, anything you need to do to help you do your job better, do it. Learn it. AI tools, AI prompting, AI engineering, AI this, AI that, all of these are running around the place. Which are you learning? Yesterday, I was interviewing someone virtually, and I asked for a CV. And she said, I do not have one right now, but if you give me a few minutes, I can develop one on my phone and send it back to you. And I said, please do that. And truly, in a few minutes, she designed a CV and sent it to me. But I have also interviewed, in fact, the same yesterday, I interviewed some people who outrightly told me, I don't have a CV. And that was the end of the interview. You don't have a CV, does that mean you cannot create one? I can't create one. Well, that's conversation for another day. I've also discovered that a lot of people do not really understand what CV means. Many young people, regrettably, unfortunately, shamefully, think that CV is one kind of certificate. And so when you ask, some will tell you, I've not finished my clearance. I have not gotten my CV yet. Some will tell you, I don't have. Some will actually, ask you, what do you mean by CV? Which is a good thing. Learning is continuous, so you explain. But some will just outrightly tell you they don't have it because they assume it is a certificate. Some people will just answer you, okay, and that's the end. They don't get back to you. And then eventually you realize that what they thought you meant was a certificate of some kind. But that's by the way. It is your job to understand industry trends. It's not your employer's job. As an employee, let's assume you studied accounting. It is your job to grow in that industry. It's your job to understand the new trends in that industry. It is not your employer's job. Coming to tell the employer that you are a fast learner, if they teach you, you catch it, that is rubbish. Like my friend would say, that is gutter talking, gutter language. It is your job to constantly grow in your space. It's not the employer's job to teach you. The employer will only teach you when he or she thinks it is beneficial to him or her. Both the employer and the employee are selfish. They are both in the relationship for personal gain. The employer is engaging the employee to grow his business with him. The employee is working with the employer to get money to meet his own obligations outside the job. They are all there for personal gain. But it has to be mutually beneficial. It has to be at a level where nobody is feeling cheated. So, employer, there is a point where your right stops. Employee, there is a point where your right stops. I will repeat, personal development is your responsibility. When you are newly absorbed into an organization as an employee, the company owes you induction, orientation. That is so that they can teach you what their company represents. They can let you understand their company culture. They can let you into the company structure, systems, and processes. They can help you see how you bond with other employees if there are others. They can let you see the role you play in the large scheme of things. This is our vision as a company. You coming in as this or that, this is what you'll be doing for us at this point or that point. That is what the employer owes you at the point of integrating you into their company. You, as an employee, it is your job to understand your job description and ask yourself, what is the best way I can help this company achieve their goals? If you are not doing that and you're just there to warm the bench, the employer will know. They will bring somebody else that will head you. Every job is a phase. Every job exposes you to some level of capacity building. It is your job to build that capacity. If you're a secretary today, there are things you need to know. If you do not know them, that job exposes you, gives you the opportunity to learn or know those things. If tomorrow you become an admin officer, the job gives you the room to learn new things. That's how you grow. Your portfolio improves as you move part-time. It is not the employer's job to build your capacity. Dear employee, don't take verbal employment. Insist on a contract. The contract should contain the position you're being employed for, the roles and responsibilities of that position. In some cases, they will even put the expectations, and then your entitlements, what your salary is. There could be a breakdown, possible actions that will activate bonus, activate commission. Maybe there are health packages. There are several, but all of this should be captured in your contracts. You go through it carefully. No employer should insist that an employee reads a contract and signs immediately. That doesn't make sense. The employee should be allowed to get that contract at least for the next 48 hours. At least. I would even say 72 hours. Go and digest it. If you have to show it to a lawyer, do that. If you have to show it to someone that is older and more experienced, do that. Understand the contract. 75 0912 000 1975. If you want to text, you can also send us a message on 0805 327 7767. 0805 327 7767. That's for text only. If you want to call in, you can also call in on 0707 747 1522. 0707 747 1522.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
Reported from Europa.
Okay.
Before I say anything, most of the all, thank our guest in the house. He's a wonderful resource person. He always put us in touch with the business atmosphere. God bless you.
Thank you.
Secondly, this program, I think there is something I observed, and it has never been, or it is not our style in Golden FM. I think towards the end tail of the program, the presenter did not open the phone line for viewers to, for listeners to ask one or two questions. I think we still have some time left. That's not the way we do it in Golden FM. I think we shouldn't repeat this. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I didn't know that you're one of the what's it called, of Golden FM and the rules you set. I don't know what style you have at Golden FM, because when we started the program, you said you can call in and join us on the program if you have to. The style for this program It's not like the style of other programs, sir. So it is not our style. We have different style for different programs. Please get that, okay? Thank you, sir. And I thought you was going to ask a question.
Brings to the business and the benefits the employee gets from the employer out of the business. There has to be a balance. And the only way to balance this is for the employer to outline the benefits he's anticipating from the employee. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Chiba. I'm calling you from Okolo.
Good morning. Welcome.
I'm so happy about this program this morning. I want to know because I just joining the program now. I don't know which time was you having the program? Is it every day or?
We have it every Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. It's a 30 minutes program between 9 o'clock and 9:30 every Saturday morning.
Okay, from 9 o'clock to 9:30 every Saturday morning.
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you so much. I want to ask you a question. Let's just assume now you are employed person, you're a business owner now. You are employed person now, but you have maybe to understand something this one that you have to have a listening agreement. The person just stop work, start coming work again. In that case, what will you do as an employer or employed person? The person just stop work, start informing you, nothing.
Yes, that is a general experience that we get to see around this environment, and not just this environment. It's something that happens a lot. It has to do with the mentality of the young people, and also have to do with the structure of the business. Now, even when there are employment contracts, people still just up and leave sometimes. But that's the reason why.
For example, now where you are employed now, like you want to employ you, when you ask them, do you have a guarantor or a referral? Person say you don't have. Another kind of situation, you don't have
nobody fell from the tree. Everybody is related to somebody. You, as a business, you must insist on your structure, and part of your structure is that every employee must give you a referee. Nobody fell from anywhere. If anything happens to that your staff, you see family members who come out. So yes, the reason why many of the people we engage in this environment do not want to give you referees or guarantors is because many of them also do not plan to stay with you. So the way they came in, that's the way they want to leave. That's why you must insist on a contract. You must insist on. You see, the reason why we also encourage businesses to engage HRO consultants and take this responsibility off themselves is because that is what the HRO people do. They can spot people who will not stay. They know the questions to ask, and they know the answers they are looking for. And before you know it, these people are telling you what they didn't think is the answer to what you're looking for. Some of them don't want to tell you where they live. Some of them probably have written JAM. They want to go to the university. They are just looking for quick money. So they are not even telling you they want to work for only 3 months. At the end of 3 months, they are gone. Exactly. So if you do not ask the right questions, you may not even know that this person just wants to work for a short period of time. Some people have rounded off school. They want to go for the national call, NYSC. They just want to get some money. But if you don't ask the right questions, you will employ them, they will work. But once their time is up, they will leave. And they will not give you notice, which is not beneficial to your business. Thank you very much for your time. We are out of time here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really taking something this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
To all our listeners out there, we want to say thank you very much for joining us this morning. Another interesting conversation. We have another conversation around employer-employee situationship next week, Saturday, same time, 9 a.m., and we will extend this conversation. However, on Wednesday, we are taking this conversation to TikTok to expand on it for like 2 hours. And so if you have the time, you can join us. Golden FM is going to be there. We are all having a session, just talk about this conversation in a broader space and get to understand what other people in other places also experience. Thank you for joining us. Flyboy, over to you.
Okay, and for a caller that called and said, my style on entrepreneurship hour is we let our resource person speak without breaking. And we already told you at the beginning of the program that if you have any questions you want to answer, we already rolled out the number so you can call in. We didn't say don't call. You can call in, and we don't interject him where he's talking. That's the style for this program. We don't want to be breaking in and out, and except you, the listener, have any call or any question you'd like to ask, call in and ask a question, and you go. That's it. So, Oga, with the style of Golden FM, thank you for noticing the style. We thank you, okay? Next week, it will be another time, and of course, we'll be at 9 o'clock to 9:30 in the morning on Saturday. Thank you, and of course, enjoy the rest of your day, but keep listening to 97.5 Golden FM.